Welcome back to my channel, Cancerian Times, and filled with emotion, the element of emotion, which brings us to being able to do our nuanced reading with the Ace of Cups. How to read that card using a Major Arcana card, which is what it's all about. I'm here to help you with your readings, and in particular, I have had plenty of experience running my own platforms with tarot readers, psychics, which I gave support to. I read myself. I know how hard it can be when it comes to actually putting out a reading and going, gosh, I feel stuck. So that's what we're looking at tonight, how to put cards together. And with the beautiful Ace of Cups, and it would be easy to go, oh, it just means this. So we're going to be jumping in and looking at it can mean a lot of things. So stick with me. And our card that we're studying at the moment this week is the Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups on its own, if you want to look at what that means, go back to the tutorial on the podcast and you'll see it's all about new emotional beginnings because it's with the element of water, and that's all about our emotions, which links to Cancerians, Scorpions and Pisces. But it affects all of us, doesn't it? And what happens if you get the Lover's card and the Ace of Cups as a whole? So I want to start off with that brilliant one. And let's say somebody comes to you and says, oh, I just want a general reading. And you go, crikey, and you get this power come up. Remember, if you actually put a major and minor arcana card together, shuffle your major cards, shuffle your minor cards, draw a card from the top of each, find out what's going on. The major arcana card will tell you if the actual subject of what's going on in their life and the main matters. I always talk about this. I don't like just pulling out 2 cards or 1 card or just doing a past, present and future. The more cards you put out, the more you can read. But let's say we are doing pairs and we've just pulled this pair and someone's asked us for a general reading. They say, have a look, see what's going on for me over the next couple of months. And we get the Lovers and the Ace of Cups. The Lovers and the Ace of Cups is a fabulous combination. Did it deliberately, brought it on, because we can actually say, oh, there seems to be some physical and mutual attraction based on some recent communication. And the person says, oh, yes, I really do like somebody, but it's very new and I'm not sure how it's going to go. Because you've got the Lover's card, it is a card of choices. It is a card of communication. And if we look at the background effects going on here, it looks good, doesn't it? Ace of Cups, new beginning, new emotional beginning. No love affairs coming in from the heart. Things that make us feel good, things that make us feel happy. The contentment, the chance to be able to enjoy that emotion. And if you're already in a relationship, it's a pair that actually says, okay, you're going to be going through a new phase, back to when things were more romantic, more bringing in those emotional messages of, I care about you. I have feelings for you. I like you. I'm still attracted to you. I still want this to work. So if you're in a relationship, it doesn't mean somebody new's coming in. Not at all. And people ask that one all the time. Oh, I think it's somebody new. The only time you're ever going to know that it's someone brand new is because you get a couple of cards together. And that would involve it being the Fool, to tell you with no history. This is somebody brand new. And it would be a court card. All right? So we wouldn't know, based on this power, that someone brand new, or whether this is an existing relationship. Could be friends, you're just attracted to each other, you just got going, and things are coming in. People are always wanting to know, is anyone new coming into my life? Yeah, you've got to look at the Fool. So let's look at that one. The Fool. This tells us something brand new is happening. It doesn't tell us as somebody new. You would need a court card for that person because court cards are people. And they're also aspects of us. So people find that confusing. Don't be. So if you're looking at a court card, which we'll be doing probably next year, because as we go through, I'm going to do the minor arcana cards. We've done the swords. We work through 1 to 10 of the cups, and then the wands, and then the pentacles, and then we'll get round to the court cards and we'll do them then. So it's going to take some time each week to look at one card. But if you've got a court card, it's a person, but it's also an aspect of a querent. The querent is the person that's actually having the reading. So if you are the one that's reading for yourself, and people say you can't, yes, you can, if you use the method of pairs, because then you are looking at it with a strategy, in a technical way, in a system, and you've got structure to your reading. So you're not bringing in what you would hope or want or fear that it could be. People say, oh, when it's good, oh, I'm sure it's just me wanting to see what I want to see. Not with this system. So if you are reading for yourself, you are the reader and the querent. But if you're reading for someone, they are the querent. And that is maybe what they're asking. What does this pair mean? It looks nice. Yeah, new beginnings here, based on something emotional, where there's a new spark, a new beginning, a new bit of care, a new bit of love, peacefulness, serenity, kindness, calmness. Look at that water. Growth. Look at the lilies growing in the water. Some of them are budding there. Flowing. You can see the actual yods coming out of the golden chalice. And peacefulness, white dot, and it's flowing. Look at those streams coming from the goblet. Golden, happy, representing, that's the solar plexus, yellow. Look at the Fool card, you've got a lot of yellow there. Again, joy, harmony. Go for it. That's what the Fool's saying. You're not going to know anything unless you actually jump right in. Jump in, enjoy yourself. When it stops being fun, that's when you'll actually have a rethink. Up to then, just go with the flow. That's what this pair means. Let's move it on to a magician and the Ace of Cups. What could that one mean? It means that if you are looking for new love, because you're single, you're in a perfect place within your life to actually achieve this. Magician is linked with Mercury. Mercury is all about communication. And it's saying that you have all the tools on the table to form that communication and make new emotional beginnings start to manifest. Magician card is all about manifesting things. It's connected with Mercury. Mercury is our planet of communication. All of the 4 elements are on the table. So we've got the sword, we've got the cup, we've got the wand, we've got the pentacle. What does that mean? All the elements. So we're thinking right, this is the sword. Emotionally, we've got the Ace of Cups here telling us it's really good, it's brand new. We're starting out, and the cups there with the magician, got that. The action card is there, which is the wand. So we will be able to take action. And then we've got the pentacle, which is the bringing about and the forming and making something tangible into a reality. So all the elements are associated here with new, emotional, beautiful beginnings. Love affairs, maybe. Emotion. This might even be a relationship with yourself. You might be loving yourself. We can go through periods of time where we can actually look at what we need to do for ourselves, to be kind to ourselves, to be good to ourselves. We're in the right space to actually take care of our well-being, to look after our mental health, i.e. the sword, our emotional health, the cup, physically, the wand, and being able to manifest all of that and bring it all together. That's the pentacle. Pentacles manifest things. That's the bringing together of all the 4 elements combined. The magician, creativity, inspiration, and making things happen in matters of things that you care about. Don't always, as a reader, think, oh, somebody new coming in. We know that people want to know about love, but we mustn't give them false hope, and we don't know their circumstances. And there's nothing in this that says there's a new love coming into your life. What it's saying is you have the capacity to actually have a brand new emotional beginning that's filled with love and care. Who's that coming from? Depends where it comes up. If that's coming in the self, guess where it's coming from? You. You to you. If it's coming up in the position of someone else, which I teach you in this thread, then we know it's coming from others. If it's the Fool card, it's a new beginning with somebody new, and we've got a Court card, that's new. If we have this one, a hermit. And you might go, oh, gosh, he's a lonely old chap. Yeah, it could mean that you're single. It could mean that you have felt alone. But the hermit is also a card of the past. So this could mean something new is beginning with someone from the past. And again, if we had a court card there, you'd definitely be able to say, okay, a hermit is a card of the past. And we've got a court card here, for example, King of Cups. Let's keep it with the suit we're with. King of Cups comes in. Looks like there's been somebody serious emotionally in your life, i.e. King of Cups. And you know what? There's a history between you two. How do you know that? A hermit. But this is a little bit of a dilemma, isn't it? A hermit from the past, Ace of Cups new. What do you think it might mean? Could be, hey, you know what? You want, depends where it is. That's why the spread's so important. If it's coming up in the South, it's experiences from the past. It's probably making you feel a little bit lonely. You're probably feeling in a place of healing. You're probably needing to go inside yourself to look at the answers and come down off that mountain when you're ready. And you're looking at getting ready for new beginnings. But again, as I say, if it's in the South, it could be someone from your past. You're thinking about them and hoping for a new beginning. If it's coming up in the position of others, it's like someone from the past is actually offering you a new beginning. Can you see what I mean? If it's spiritual advice, it's coming in and saying, okay, there's something here that you need to look at on your own of a new beginning, maybe a project or something you're doing, which brings me to the fact that the Hermit is also a work card. All right, being a work card could be brand new beginnings at work. Okay, Death card and Ace of Cups. Don't be scared of Death card, folks. Linked to the astrological sign of Scorpio, another water sign. Scorpio, deep, deep, dig. That's what Scorpio is. And that means that their feelings are deep and that they are somebody that digs deep. It comes up in the now position in a, let's say, general reading, and somebody's saying, oh, just look at my cards, and it's okay. You're feeling things intensely and deeply. Are you a Scorpio? They might say no, and that's fine. It's possible there is a lot of water in their natal chart. It may not be the sun sign, but this could be moon affecting them. They may have Scorpio or Pisces or Cancer in their moon. The reason I say all of that, although the Death card is Scorpio, don't forget about the Ace of Cups being linked to all those three. Okay? All the water signs. So it's possible that aspect in their natal chart is now coming up, might be in their moon, which is where they feel incredibly comfortable with things. Or it might be in their ascendant, which is how they actually navigate through their life, how they go about everything. If it's how they're navigating in life, I've got Scorpio as in that position, it means that everything has got to be all completely as much as you possibly can to dig to the bottom, to get down to the bare sort of bones of something with intensity. Or, I'm not bothering. No half-hearted here, all right? It's the emotional drive, all right? But in this regard, it's the first two cards that's come out. So what is our person literally going to hear from us? We say we're going through a lot of emotional transformations, and it's in the now, and those transformations are actually leading to wonderful new emotional situations in your life. And it's probably a collective of things. We haven't got an individual, remember, because we're not looking at a court card. We are actually not looking at another person. We said it's just come out as the first two cards, which is what's going on now in the present. So a lot of transformations leading to a lot of new things happening that you're going to love. That's what it means. But it's also saying that whatever you're giving up or whatever you're sacrificing, whatever you've actually gone through and let go of, you've made way for the new to come in, of something that's rather beautiful because of the Ace of Cups. Something you're going to love, Ace of Cups, something you're going to care about because of the Ace of Cups, something you're going to care passionately about because Scorpio is passionate. You're getting your information here based on what is the position. They've not asked a question. I've made it even harder for you and said, oh, just throwing it at you and going, give me this. So how would you tackle it? You'd say, right, okay, you're going through some major changes and transformations. Good for you. It may be painful, but look, Ace of Cups is in your card here. You're going to love it. Emotionally, you're making way by getting rid of the dead wood and clearing out the garden of weeds. You're making way for things to bloom in the garden and for it to keep flowing. Oh, will there be a new romance? It's emotionally based, quite likely. Will it lead to romance? We'd need to look at more positions by putting out more cards and using pairs. If you just got the Ace of Cups on its own, and I did a tutorial and got a whole hour out of it, you can't give somebody all of that. That was for your information so that you know about your card, so you can draw upon pieces of that actually resonate when you look at that card and you go, oh yeah, she talked about quite a religious feel to this. That might fit. Or might say it was very peaceful or very serene, or that things were flowing, or that there's the calmness. There's all of that. We went through it the other night. If you want to watch it, go for it. But you don't say all of that in a reading with one card. You don't need to. What's right will come together. But it's so easy if you've got your major card in front of her to tell you what it's about. What is it about? The Ace of Cups is coming with transformations. Because of those transformations, the new beginnings are going to come in. That's the point, okay? So let's have a look at some keywords. Very important that I show you how my spread looks if you were to go into my advanced signature course, 44 cards on the table. So that's what it looks like. And I show it very quickly every week. You see where the position of the Strength card on the Ace of Wands is. That's the now position that I'm talking about. They would be your first two cards out. And if we actually look at the spread, such as you will, doesn't seem as if the Ace of Cups is in that spread, does it? But all of the Major Arcana cards are out, which is telling us lots and lots about this person. So this is why we can find out about their work, about their home, about their emotional side, about the influences of others. Let's say they're asking about a Gemini. We'd go straight to the King of Swords. We'd look at the Lover's card to tell us where. We'd also look at the position of where Gemini lands in this reading, which you'd need to do my courses to find that out. Temperance and Ace of Cups. The Temperance and the Ace of Cups, we're linking Temperance to the astrological sign of Sagittarius. Let's say that this comes up in the position of now. I showed you on the spread where that is, very briefly. Yeah, it's a lot of old cards, but you know what? The more you've actually got out, and there's nothing wrong with actually having the map that I've just shown you, or the diagram next to you, while you read, while you get used to it. Don't feel it takes time. Nobody expects you to know it all. But how nice to have it all out and go, hang on a minute, I just want to check something. And you kind of go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that's some. Okay, that's the position of X. And in this position, blah, blah. This is position 1 we're discussing tonight in a general reading. Temperance card is telling us it's linked to Sagittarius. And Temperance card is moderation of things, keeping them even keel, keeping it steady. Tempering something means the applying of two things in order to actually blend them to create a third. Yeah? A bit like making a scrambled egg, and you break the egg and whatever you do with it to make it scrambled, you just whisk it, mix it with a fork, whichever. And maybe you had butter, maybe you had cheese, maybe you had some onion, maybe you had some bacon, maybe you had all of it. In our household, we're always experimenting. It's the combining. So rather than just having plain scrambled egg, we've got cheesy scrambled egg or bacon or whatever. You've made it into something that's entirely different. So there's an example of what temperance. What does it mean when we've actually got the Ace of Cups, though? Temperance is mixing and blending, and in this case, rather than cooking like I've just explained, very much about socializing. Did you know that? Yeah? And it's about, just like we see the angel, mixing, blending, and socializing with different people, particularly different cultures. Okay? Why? Because we have the angel's wing, we have Sagittarius, cultures, different countries, people coming from different backgrounds. Sometimes the culture can be different, can't it? Not just because it's international, but Sagittarius is linked to higher learning, it's linked to countries, it's linked to long distance travel, it's linked to knowledge. It's extending your horizons very carefully, because temperance has got one foot on land, rounded, one foot in the water, gently feeling what the temperature's like emotionally. They very carefully blend those two cups together. And because of the card on the right, i.e. the Ace of Cups, they are blending that new emotion, whether it's a person or a feeling, they are building that and blending that to mix something together. So really, this is about having new beginnings emotionally within cultures and socializing, higher learning, coming from, maybe you could look at this in all sorts of ways. Maybe it's the community, maybe it's the culture, maybe you're actually in a class and it's international, like my astrology class. There are all Americans in there, which I love. I've made some great friends from Long Island to the opposite side of America, which is California. San Diego and the Midwest. Lovely. All different, but they're all really on a great vibe. There's a cultural thing. Higher learning, yeah. So I'm using me as an example. And how do I feel about it? I love it. It happens to me every Wednesday. So when I'm not doing this with you guys, Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm the student. I'm the one that's going, got it. And then all of a sudden I go, I don't know how this all comes together, because being a professional astrologer is a complete different kettle of fish to enjoying the hobby of being looking at astrology in the way that we do with the tarot cards. Trines, conjunctions, squares, planets, transits. Because of the cultures, yes. But secondly, I'm studying higher learning. I'm educating myself. I'm not only mixing with different cultures, I am pursuing higher learning. And as a result of that, I'm mixing and blending with other people. And I'm not falling in love with the girls in the class or the male teacher. That's not what it is. But I'm falling in love with astrology again. But I'm being very careful because I'm very grounded about what I know, the houses and this, that, and the other. Transits and things like that. Yeah, that's a new one for me. So I know more on that and I know more about the houses. So one of the girls said, how about we meet half an hour before and we have a chat and we help each other? And that's what we're going to do. And that's what I hope for with you guys, when there's enough of you that's available, that you're able to actually go into, get together and practice this system. It is new to you. I'm not new. I've been doing this for too long, decades, 30 years, 15, as in on my own psychic platforms, which I don't do now, because I wanted to branch out and just do the education. And again, temperance. Long distance travel. So this might be being in love with travel, having a love of travel, having a love of cultures, having a love of... Temperance card is also food and drink. It's very much comes up in readings with people that have the travel industry. Always in my case, it has been that they are working for airlines, or more so, and they have hotels, bed and breakfast, and they're probably the ones that are the entrepreneur that's put all that together. So they're probably the proprietors of that, or the money backers, or they have been an entrepreneur in that. It doesn't feel, don't usually see this when somebody's working for a hotel chain or something like that, but very much when maybe cabin crew, a lot of those, it comes up and you'll see them. It comes up in the work. So it comes up in the 6th house, comes up in the 8th house, that's who they're employed by, all those kind of things. There's a difference between whether it's their job and whether it's their career. You could actually be changing career, couldn't you? Or you could be getting a new job. Getting a new job is you are a nursery nurse, you're going for a position to another organisation where you wish to be a nursery nurse. Changing your career could be you are no longer a nursery nurse, you now actually want to drive a bus. Something completely different. So it's important that we acknowledge that, all right? How is that connected with Ace of Cups? Because it's not just about love, it's about being in love with what you do. I'm loving learning. I'm loving the culture. I'm loving being part of this hotel group, or I'm enjoying loving doing the travel, as in because I work for the airlines, that kind of thing. Or I'm enjoying my night classes because I'm learning a new language. Temperance would be attached to that. So there's so much goes on when you actually bring in 2 cards together. Temperance card, study. That's what it's about, studying something you love. It's not always romantic love. And romantic love, we think it's the be-all and end-all. A honeymoon period. It's not as fulfilling as the rest of your whole life. A honeymoon period with romantic love, I can tell you, we go through many other things than just that. It's part of life, but it's not all. And sometimes people can be fixated on a reading that that's what the client wants, that's what the client wants. I hope that makes sense. Okay, quick reminder about my Tuesday podcast. Let's bring it on. You can see if you miss anything, it's all on a podcast for Tuesday. There's one for Thursday, which is Learn Tarot, but we're talking about Tuesday tonight. That's how to fuse the cards together. There you go. Look, everything we've ever done. And Ace of Swords, 2 of Swords, blah, blah, blah. It goes all the way down. Okay, the Tower. And you go, crikey, what's going on? The Tower is Mars. And we've got the Ace of Cups. So you've got 2 opposites. One's gentle and calm and emotional. And the other one is linked to the planet Mars, which is fire. But fire, forget this. People forget this. They go, oh, crikey, that one's whatever. And a tower's a difficult one. Yeah, it's unsettling. But usually the tower we've had a lot of warning before it comes. We have been given lots of warning. It's a bit like saying, you know what, we're going to knock your block of flats down. And we let you know 2 years ago, and you've got to move. And you leave it until they're going, we're bringing the bulldozers next week. And you're going, you can't evict me and do this. How could you do it? You have the warning. I'm not saying that's always the case, but that's likely that you would have not found yourself just waking up one morning and having that. Tower moments are things that the expected and the unexpected. And the unexpected, of course, is the horrible things in life that happen. We're clumsy, and as a result of that, we break a leg or a finger or whatever. Or we get bruised and battered because we fell. One of those moments. But with the Ace of Cups, it's unlikely to be any of that because it's also about high speed. Mars is like whoosh, okay? It's also fire. Ace of Cups, water. Water puts out fire. So don't forget that one either when you've got a combination of a fire sign and a water sign. The water sign will win, even though Mars will shake things up quite a lot and push the water sign to throw a bucket of water over them. Do you see? We put it all together, it starts to make sense. Because it really is all about, it's based, it's not hocus pocus, it's based upon, these are facts. Water puts out fire. if you give it air, yeah, or you put wood on it, you're feeding the fire. Fire plus fire makes it even worse, doesn't it? So think about that, all right? Think deeply. I urge you to play, have fun. You don't need to know it all. Your cards are suggesting this. That's always a good one. Cards are suggesting to me that something really suddenly has happened with the Ace of Cups, which is all about new beginnings and love affairs of the heart. You don't need to say romance. Don't add what you think they're ringing up about. Half the time they're not ringing up about romance. You may have had several calls, don't presume. It's easy to. They might be going, oh gosh, I really want things to happen suddenly in my career. It's my own enterprise. And look at this. So wow, it's happening. It's happening fast. You're going to love it. This is a new beginning for you. You're right at the beginning of it, mind. You are loving it. Keep pouring your heart and soul into it, and this will happen quickly. That's one of, we've all had readings where people will say, we could have waited. They're talking about Knight of Pentacles, Hanged Man, anything to do with Taurus, which is earthy and the slowest sign of all of the earth signs. Starts to make sense to you as to why these people are getting these readings based on their cards. You're thinking that they're going, oh, it's my guides and my intuition. I can tell you, having studied all of the guides and intuition, I'm 60 next month, so that's a long time as a little girl buying astrology books with your pocket money. Yeah, that's a long time. So of course I've done all of that. And every group I was ever in, I always felt so disappointed because you are only going to get tiny bits. It may be great stuff. But if you want to make a career in readings, that tiny stuff, you're not going to be able to survive financially, or you are going to feel terrible when you can only deliver that tiny piece and feel that person should be delighted with what you've said. They want more. Yep, definitely about dynamics. Definitely about the dynamics. Absolutely. Obviously, you'd need more cards. It's a dynamic card, dynamic Ace of Cups coming in. Something you're going to love, something you're connected with. Things are happening quickly for you. There's new beginnings here, something you're going to love, and they will probably turn around and tell you. You don't have to do the predicting. They're there with their thoughts. This is where people go wrong. And this is where, when you leave a reading and feel awful, it's probably because you felt you ought to be saying it was this, and you couldn't tell the difference between your own thinking and your own intuition or what your guides were saying. All of that is so rich and important. Do not think that I am not recommending you do that. But on its own, it isn't enough. What you will find is if you go with, I'm going to call it technical reading and using the strategy of what I'm showing you, your intuition will spark and you'll suddenly go, I know what it means. I know what it's telling me and I can feel it. I can see it. I'm seeing this in my mind. It's reminding me of this person, that's your intuition. But just that on its own, it's no good saying to one, oh, you know what, when I actually read your cards, it reminds me of Johnny that I used to know. And yeah, he'd got a bit of a temper too. Person's going to go, what are you talking about? And I can tell you because I had to go and consult the readers who'd done something like that and the customer. Very hard. So I was dealing with the customer and just saying, let's take a fresh look. I'm not going to tear apart a reading. I don't know what they've said. Of course, I listened to the call, but none of my business what was being said or why that person said it. But trying to actually give them something fresh. What you've got to remember is what you say. It's very difficult for people, and I say this all the time, to unhear. Somebody plants something in your mind. People say, 20 years ago, Somebody told me I was going to marry a doctor and have 2 children. Do you still think that's possible? I kid you not. On no disrespect to the callers that I used to deal with. They were in their 70s. How do you need to be able to actually not use your own thinking, but look at your cards? Of course, you want to say what you think. You can't. You're not there for that. You've got to look at the cards. Miracles can happen, of course, but it's unlikely, isn't it? It's very unlikely, is what we're saying. And you might say that as a person, Ms. Marie, it's probably unlikely, Mrs. X. Well, I look at your cards for you. Yeah? So the dynamics of the Tower and the Ace of Cups, something suddenly happening that you are going to love, pushing the dead wood out of your life and coming in at high speed. Be ready. Don't miss this moment. You're going to love it. And this can build and build. The dynamics of it, exactly the right word, to be able to actually bring this about and keep building. And you're doing this from the heart. You're going to love it. Or is it linked to romance? If it's in the position of romance, yes. But we've said it's in the now position. And so we can't say, oh no, this is in the now position. What we do is we'd say, hold on a minute. Let me go and have a look at the position of romance in my spread. Let me go and look at others. And this is somebody who'd like me to look at. If you do, tell me their star sign. Do you know that? Oh, I don't know it. Okay, that's fine. All right, but if you do, then you can go looking in the house of Gemini. You can go, if that's what they are, you can look at the Gemini cards, and there's the court cards, and there's the Lovers card. Do you see? It's the pieces of the puzzle. And it's the pieces of the puzzle that help you bring it together. I use the 2 cards, and I know I go off at tangents. That was the whole reason for bringing on 2 cards, so that you wouldn't be shy about going, how do you read this? How do you do that? I am here to answer those questions. Time for me to go. All right. If you want to look at the courses, you'll find it on my website, and my website only, tarotwithenry.com. And it's all about supporting you as a professional reader, knowing what the client wants, but more importantly, isn't it about actually feeling good being a reader and enjoying it, and that you are not in a position of feeling like you're an imposter. All because you set yourself as in, I'm not like Mystic Meg or Russell Grant or Jonathan Cana, the astrologer, or whoever it is that you know that's a famous psychic. There's loads, but YouTube is worldwide. Therefore, what the English people follow and what the Americans follow and what's popular, it changes every week on YouTube and TikTok, doesn't it? I think it's quite difficult now to actually give a great example like Rachel Pollack from the past, who wrote great tarot books, and Liz Green, people like that, Colette Baron Reid, all those people you may not have heard of, because there's now this quick sort of, oh, this card means this, and this card means that, and there you go, there's your reading. That's fine for somebody scrolling. It's different. Yeah, or wanting to be entertained in a light-hearted way and going, gosh, that really resonated with me. That still won't get your career below. Whereas here, we do that, all right? We can help you. Can't set your career up for you, but I can make sure I can show you how you're going to be successful. Till next time, everybody, have a great week. Bye for now.